Welcome back to DXB Today, and we're talking about building good habits for the new year because we're a month in. How are we actually doing? Well, our next guest has one message for us all. It doesn't matter where you start or how many setbacks you've faced. With belief and the right guidance, you can achieve it all. Okay, I'm really excited to meet him now. Welcome to the show, high performance coach and founder of Built to Last, Mr. Kirk Miller. How are you, Kirk?
Thank you for having me. It's great to be on the show.
We're so excited to have you. Tell us about, Faris mentioned you started from very humble beginnings in the UK and look at where you are now. So how has that journey inspired you?
Well, firstly, I started in Coventry from a council estate. The dream was very much to be a professional soccer player.
Okay.
And that journey was going super smooth. I was at Coventry City. You might be familiar with the team, I'm not sure. Till I was 20. So I was in a high performing environment. Standards and habits were high on the subject of habits today. Got released, dream shattered, and then got lost in love as a plumber for 6 years. Habits and standards weren't so good. Peer group had changed, which I know we're going to speak about today. And then fast forward to now, I'm the founder of Built to Last, and we pride on doing exactly what it says on the tin, which is getting and keeping entrepreneurs, business owners in the best physical and mental shape of their life.
Well, speaking of Built to Last, I heard the 17th of January is the day where people give up on their New Year's resolutions. What do you think is the biggest roadblock for people who are trying to change a habit?
That's a great question. I genuinely think, from all my experience having coached so many people, I think if people are giving up this early into the new year, they've simply not hardwired a strong enough why behind that goal.
It's about the why, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the emotional driving force. If we can stack as much emotional value behind a goal, you'll find the motivation, even when you don't have the motivation, because I know it's been discussed already today, but willpower and motivation doesn't last. So if you are that person listening to this now and you're thinking of downing tools, evaluate right now who and what will be affected if I down tools in my habits. For example, if you are trying to be healthy. So the why is massive. The emotional driving force is huge.
What is your why?
I have two questions for you. Why did you call it soccer? That's the first one. You don't need to answer. But the second one is, what's the role of environment? What's the role of having the right people around you?
Yeah, for me, I've been coaching for a long time, and I've been in a high performance environment as a footballer in Coventry where standards are high. Then I lowered my standards once I was out of football. Even though I knew what to do, my environment was dictating my behaviour. So for me, that's why we put so much energy into creating a community within Built to Last, even though we're an online business, because out of all the studies I've done, the people we've transformed, if there's one thing that is a more predictable way of creating long-term behaviour change and creating habits that stick, it's being around people that have the same habits that you'd like to create and stick to, and have the same values and standards that you'd like to embody. So for me, if you are struggling with habits in any way, evaluate the people that consistently live with the habits that you'd like to consistently live with, and evaluate your physical and your social environment. You know, when we look at environment, you've got your physical environment, your social environment, and then you've got people who you spend time with. And if it was as simple as just get your steps in, get your session in, drink the water, go to bed on time, why aren't millions of people healthier in doing it?
Yeah.
Sure. From my experience, a lot of the time, their habits are shaped by the company they keep and the temptations in the places they go to.
100%.
Yeah, I wanted to, because you just talked about the power of why. Why is it important to have first of all, tell us what is the power of why, and how is it important to help us build these habits and make them last as well?
The power of why is everything. That gives you meaning behind any purposeful goal. Without a purposeful North Star, you'll never consistently follow through on the habits. And how do I know that to be true? Every single person will have an area of their life that is going super smooth, that for many people listening to this, entrepreneurs, business owners, they'll do whatever they need to do in business and career because they have a strong driving force behind that. They know if they don't go to work, make money, they're not going to be able to provide for their children and maybe do nice things, whatever they value. If they can apply the same theory when it comes to their health and fitness, they'll follow through so much more. But in terms of creating habits that stick, you've just got to keep them simple. evaluate what you're doing right now and ask yourself, are the habits that I'm currently doing on a consistent basis aligned to my expectations of how I want to look, how I want to feel, and how I want to perform?
Now, we were talking about mindset as well. We've got about 30 seconds left, but I'm aware of, you were saying about the influences you have, because people find it hard to say no. No, I'm not going to come out tonight. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. What advice would you give to them for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And sometimes you can't change who you spend time with,
True.
but you can change the conversation that you have with those people. Live your life in accordance to how you want to live and make the choices aligned to how you want to look, how you want to feel, even if that does require uncomfortable conversations. Because ultimately, you're not being authentic if you're not communicating what you want to do or not do in any environment you're in.
But people pleasing is such a big thing, isn't it? We can get into that. But
It is, but at some point that will show up.
I know, that's true, that's true.
Well, Kirk, thank you so much for joining us on today's show. It's been great having you.
Amazing.
And Faris, you've got something for us?
That's
DXB in
right.
60.
I've got something for Mehran. It is my list of questions. We're going to do DXB in 60. That's quick fire questions within 60 seconds to try and get to know as much about you as possible in a short time span. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start the clock in 3, 2, 1. What was your first job?
Worked at a bakery when I was 12.
Delicious. Your motto when it comes to life and work?
Don't complain.
I like
I
that.
just made that up.
Yeah, I like it.
We'll stick with it.
What's a goal that you have for 2025?
Keep empowering people.
Amazing. If you could have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Sir Arsene Wenger.
Oh, really?
I just added the Sir at the beginning. Sorry.
Yeah, he wasn't 90.
Well, I was going to ask you a footballer or sports person you'd like to meet, dead or alive, but I think we have our answer. Anyone else?
Maradona.
Best way to unwind after a stressful day?
Go for a walk.
Your go-to restaurant in Dubai?
I don't go out. To be honest.
Is there a book, movie, or series that you recommend? Do you watch TV?
There are a couple of books that really helped me. One is The Algebra of Wealth by Scott Galloway. The second one is, all of us can use that, Psychology of Money.
Oh, great one. I have that next to my
Yeah,
bed.
like
We're done with our 60 seconds, but I have to ask you, why Dubai?
best place in the world. Like, and it's not just me saying. I talk to famous people, like top, and they all say this is the place to be.
That's right, you were talking to Faris earlier, weren't you? He's the most famous person ever. Mehran, thank you so much for being our guest co-host today. It's been really, really interesting, so thank you. And Kirk, once again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll come back very, very soon.
Thank you so much.
But for now, do not go anywhere. We have a performance coming up from international singer-songwriter Shinwa Hawk. Don't go anywhere.